Namaste. Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. My name is Sadhana. I am an intuitive reader and healer and yogi. And today I'm here to follow up from my Tarothon presentation. Last Sunday was an epic event, 24 hours of tarot. And today I'm here to just follow up and answer some of your questions and go back a little more methodically through some of the methods for using significators, as well as just to touch on the reasons that I have brought this back into many, many of my readings. All right, so I'm going to start today just talking a little bit about the major arcana cards, which are in the little window here. I'll flip that over in just a second, that are associated with your sun sign. Okay, so when we are doing a reading, sometimes it is necessary to focus, to find a center of focus. And the reason that has come up a lot for me with different querents and working with students a lot over the last couple of years in tarot classes is that finding a really good question it's a skill, it's an art. And I find that my job as a reader, one of my jobs as a reader, is to help you fine-tune your question. But a lot of the time, I also am very mindful that I don't want to project, and I also don't want to take you away from your focus, because there's a reason why you have your heart set on that particular yes or no question. Or, you know, I might not be interpreting your thoughts correctly. And so sometimes all we need to do is just put a little focal point on the table. And there's lots of different ways to find that focal point. So today I'm just going to run through a bunch of them and look at these cards specifically, because we didn't do this. I didn't do this last Sunday. So I'm going to kind of go through this step by step. So method one, which is really kind of simple, is if you know your sun sign, is to pick the major arcana card for your sun sign. And so we're just going to flip through these really quickly. Hey there, Nancy, welcome. All right, let me just switch. I'll make myself little and the cards big. Okay, so this is very standardized, and there are 12 major arcanas that are associated with the 12 zodiacal signs. And if your sign is Aries, it may be helpful to place the Emperor in the middle of, or near, or just by your reading. And you do not have to use the Emperor card from the deck that you are reading with. You can pull the Emperor out of another deck. You could also pull out another symbol for the Emperor, just to keep yourself focused on, you know, the fact that this is connected with yourself. I showed you these coins last Sunday, but I also have these tarot coins. And so what I might do, I'm just going to throw these down on the table. Actually, I'll throw a bunch of them around here so you can see. And we'll, these are made by the woman that I work with, the store where I read in, Gibson's Seashell, British Columbia. So you'll be familiar with some of these symbols. I wasn't planning on doing this, so let's just throw these around the table. You can see there's Justice. Where is the Emperor? There's the Star. The Moon, the Sun. Oh, here we go. No, that's the Leo, the Strength. My goodness, I don't see the Emperor. There's the Hermit. There is the Magician and Lovers, Hanged Man, Hierophant. Okay, so here's the Emperor. So I've got a coin for the Emperor. Sorry, a crown. So just simply by placing a focal point on the table, it might help the querent or yourself to just remember that you embody this energy, or the querent embodies this energy, that you need to bring in the solidity, that you need to bring in the strength and the fire, and that this characteristic lives within you. Also, it might help to, because the Emperor is a number 4, it might, I don't know, it just might draw in some connections of other number 4s in the card. And if you are a Taurus, then you might want to have the Hierophant sitting on the table. Now, the Hierophant looks very, very different in many, many different tarot decks. Hi, Mary Beth. Hi, Karen. Good morning. Good afternoon. And these two decks, are completely different than a traditional Hierophant. And so to choose a Hierophant card that resonates with either your querent or with yourself can be really kind of a cool idea. I don't like all this on the table. It's kind of messy. I just wanted to show you these again. This is the Hierophant coin. And I think that is important too, because, if your significator card, if the artwork of your significator card doesn't resonate with you, then it's not going to add something to the reading. And so the purpose of placing this focal point, I'm going to try to find another word for significator. This is just to draw in your focus. It's help bring connections in your reading. Okay, so choose a deck, use a deck that feels good. And then we go to the Lovers, which is Gemini. And again, lots and lots of different images of the Lovers in tarot. And I can't emphasize enough choosing a card, choosing a deck where you resonate with the artwork, because that makes all the difference in the world. And perhaps if at a certain time of year, you're just really feeling a connection to one card or another, you just mix that up and use the one that feels good, right? Okay, so Chariot. Chariot is the next astrological sign, which is connected to Cancer. And this can be a tricky one for people because Cancer, of course, is a water sign. And the Chariot is such a strong and fiery card. And, one of the things I love about this card for Cancer is that if you are a Cancer and you're in those kind of months, days, weeks where you are feeling a little overwhelmed with the water of your energy, I think this particular card can really help to pull you out of that and bring that fire, into your reading. Okay, so this is a really good point. Nancy says, I assume you take a card from another deck so it's not missing from the actual reading. So there's two ways to go about this, Nancy. One is, yes, you can take the card from another deck, or not, because you want to leave this here. So there's two different approaches to do this, and they both work beautifully, and it's entirely up to you what your method would be. And I suppose if you were using a second deck to pull that out of, so say you pulled Strength out of, this is the Lily White Tarot, this is the Druidcraft Tarot. Suppose you pulled this card out of the Lily White, and then you were using the Lily Black, and the card came up again, then it's only going to emphasize the need to focus on on this energy and the energy of this card. Hi, Gerald. Welcome. Hi, Diana. Thanks for joining me this afternoon. Okay, so this is the Leo. This is the card for Leo. And then we go to Virgo. And so Virgo is the Hermit. And again, more traditional kind of image in the Druidcraft Tarot, and something quite personal and soft and reflective in the Lily White. So choosing your significator based on the energy that you or your Aquarius is feeling is really, really important, right? And then after Virgo, we have Libra. And I am not attached to whether justice is 8 or justice is 11. It works really well. Hi, Kathy. It works really well in both positions, and I can find an argument. And I think I did a video of this way back about justice 8 or justice 11. Same with strength 8 or strength 11. It's the quality of justice. It's the information of it's the energy of justice that is important. And if you want to use more of a card that's focused on a karmic justice, then pick a card that has the artwork that speaks to that, because there's plenty of decks that speak to the karmic aspects of justice rather than legal. And I think we can bring that energy in any of them. And then when we go to Scorpio, we have death. And this is such a powerful card. And so, oh God, I love this one. I like both of these very, very much. And so this is really going to help you, you know, and you might have a Scorpio card I'm just thinking of that has, you know, an eagle or has more watery image in it as well too. So pick one that is speaking to the aspect of Scorpio that is working for you at that time. If you, of course, if you connect with your sun sign, not everybody connects with their sun sign. And that's why there's so many different options for choosing a significator card. Hi, Nancy. The deck on the left is Lily White Tarot by Celia Melsville. It comes from France. It's available in a tarot size as well as a mini now. And then when we go to Sag, so Sag is the Temperance card. And again, lots and lots of choices for Temperance. And I suppose for me, this is an easy one, and I do personally connect to my sun sign. And so having my sun sign on the table in some form feels like it just anchors the reading. And then for Capricorn, we have the Devil. And again, really, really important to choose a Devil card. You know, when I look to the Celtic decks and I see Cernunnos, or sometimes it's referred to as like the wild man, or there's other names for this card. I'm thinking also of Tarot of the Hidden Realm. I forget what it's called there. But there's an aspect of living life. And so perhaps you want a more traditional devil because you're struggling with some of your compulsions or so forth. But in the Druid craft and in the Celtic decks, I feel like, oh my God, I just want to feel, I want to be in joy. And it's about really tapping into that aspect of the devil. So choose the card that feels, you know, that feels really really strong and really good. Gerald says, I'm currently looking through my Druid Craft Tarot, trying to decide how much I'm going to trim. Yeah, so I decided to leave the titles on, and I took off the whole extra border, but I did end up buying a second copy. There's something about that internal border, this one here, that goes around that I really do like it. And then the last two sun signs are Aquarius. So Aquarius and Pisces. So Aquarius is connected to the star. And again, depending on how you are feeling, and having the air sign connected to this card feels very, very spiritual. You know, it feels very elevated. And this might be not what you need at this time, right? You might want a more grounding card. So you might want to turn to using a theme card, which we're going to look at in a second, or a court card. And then Pisces is connected to the moon. Now, I find that this can be a really difficult card to have on the table for a Pisces querent, because if they're coming for a reading and things are really moody or challenging, just having that moon card there can almost be overwhelming. And that could be the case for any of the significator cards. So you want to be really, really mindful you want to be really mindful that the Significator card supports the reading. It doesn't overwhelm the reading, or it doesn't cause the querent to be a little quieter perhaps than you need them to be if you want to get into conversation. Okay, love that comment, Nancy. I'm glad you always knew that you were a star. Okay, so I want to go and just quickly run through the whole idea of the court cards and how that works as well too. There's a few different thoughts on this. Okay, so these are, I've got both Druidcraft and Lily White for this whole conversation. So I can share with you these two decks because I've got them ready and organized. Let me just pull the Druidcraft closer. Okay. So if you are a fire sign, right? If you are a fire sign, or perhaps you've got fire in your ascendant, or maybe you've got fire in your ascendant and fire in your sun sign. Maybe your moon is in fire, so you choose a fiery card. And I just want to say that, feel free to choose whatever one you want. It doesn't matter which one you are supposed to choose, but there are guidelines and there are charts and there are rules and there are different thoughts on this. So the one that I'm going to share with you now is just one thought. Okay, it doesn't necessarily stand or work with everybody. Okay. Now, if you are and I believe this is the Golden Dawn method, I'm pretty sure it is. So if you are a cardinal sign, okay, so if you are a cardinal sign and you are in the first two decans of your sign, so you're early in your sign, then generally speaking, you're going to choose a queen. And so if you're early in Aries, you're going to choose the Queen of Wands. Okay. And if your gender identification is male, or you don't identify with this particular card, you might want to balance it by having the Emperors there as well too. Or you might just not feel this card. And so go ahead and choose the Knight, or choose the King, or choose a theme card, which we'll get to next. Okay, so the Queen of Wands goes from the 21st of March until the 10th of April. And then for the end of Aries, as we move into Taurus season, we go to the King of Pentacles. And so so this would go from like the 11th of April until the middle of May. And so what I feel here is, like, depending on your connection to your astrology, depending on what you want to choose, you have lots and lots of choices, right? You don't have to choose the King of Pentacles. Now, this is going to be tricky as I go through this because I'm looking at a chart and a bunch of cards. Okay, so there's our other King of Pentacles. Taurus. So as we move into Taurus, which is a fixed sign, the fixed signs are kings. And you can just use this as a general rule. So if you are a fixed sign, you are a king of your suit. But with the Golden Dawn, the king begins at the end of Aries and goes through the first two decans of Taurus. And if you are closer to Gemini, then you pick up the mutable sign and you are the Knight of Swords. And I'm going to go through this before I go any further and just review this. So if you are a cardinal sign and you are at the beginning So you're a cardinal sign. You're at the beginning of your sun sign. You are a queen. If you are a fixed sign, you are a king. And if you're a mutable sign, you are a knight. And this doesn't necessarily work for everybody. So I'm fully aware and I appreciate this system, and it helps to give a structure to my readings, but I don't necessarily follow it because it doesn't work for everybody. Okay, so Gemini starts with the Knight of Swords, and then as we go into Cancer, we get the Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups, you know, it might not work for everybody who is in that sign. So here's our Queen of Cups in the Druid Craft. And bear with me. Here is our Queen of Cups in the Lily White. And I can see a lot of my Cancer friends associating with the Queen of Cups. But I can also see balancing this and having the Chariot on the table, because we want to balance that fire and water. And my whole thought here is that this is only to help bring us focus. And perhaps if you have this on the table if you have these cards on the table from other decks, it's just there to bring conversation points up for you, right? It's not necessarily to say, you know, this conversation points. It's to add depth to your reading. And I really love having these cards around handy on the table so that I can teach and share and ask questions and take the querent's question or, you know, problem or issue into a whole other level. At the end of Cancer, we move towards the King of Wands energy, which is the Leo energy, right? The Leo energy as a fixed sun sign. And here is the King of Wands in the Lily White. So this, you know, it's a really strong energy. This fits really nicely with the Strength card, but it's a lot of fire on the table, and it might be too much. And sometimes if we have an imbalance of energy within ourselves or within the querent, we might need a focal point to help bring some water or earth on the table. And beautiful suggestions, right, came up through the chat the other day, and that is to have, you know, objects. Maybe I suggested crystals, or you might want to have, you know, a piece of jewelry. You're probably not going to have a tiger's eye wristamala, because tiger's eye is also fiery, but you might want to have something that's a little more grounding or watery, right? So maybe you want to put some carnelian onto the table, because carnelian is going to kind of feel a little more balanced with the fire. You could have a plant. Maybe if you've got a lot of, if you're feeling really fiery doing your reading, you want to have some kind of flowers or something green on the table. I know it sounds crazy, but it helps to set the scene of your reading. So as we move through Leo, the end of Leo season, as we move into Virgo season, is the Knight of Pentacles. And I made a joke. I made a joke the other day when I was doing this, when I was doing part one. I'll make sure I link part one in the description box below later if you want to kind of wrap your head around this conversation a little more. But I said, I can't believe the Knight of freaking Pentacles is my significator, because I do not associate it. Actually, you know what? Oh my God. Okay. There's the Knight of Pentacles and the Lily White. As I'm looking at this card, I definitely can. And this is, you know what this is? This is my Kapha energy. This is my Kapha energy, that part of myself that does like to slow down. And this is the part of my energy that is, you know, this would never be a go-to significator card. It's not my dominant energy by any means, but it's definitely a part of me. And I love that we have these resources to draw upon. So this is the first two decans of Virgo. And this would go in with the Hermit card. And you can see how this fits way more into Hermit energy than into strength energy, right? Virgo, Leo energy. And then in the end of Virgo, as we move into Libra season, got to make sure I don't get this all mixed up here. Then we're going to go back to this cardinal sign again. So we're going to go to the Queen of Swords. And if you get this cardinal fixed mutable in your mind, then it gets a little bit easier to remember who's who. Love, love, love this Queen of Swords in lily white. So the Queen of Swords speaks really well with justice, justice being the major arcana for Libra. And there's a strength and a softness to this card. It feels really, really beautiful. Nancy has another question here. Do you go towards dominant personal energy or energy that relates to the question? Assuming that the querent is present with me and I've had a little bit of an interview, we've worked through the question together, I might want to choose a significator card that, so either one is an aspect of themselves that I don't see shining through. And I would know this by asking, when their birthday was. I might also pull out their card for the year, which is another thing I usually do really quickly. And I try to bring in a few different things at the same time. And then the next thing we'll get to is the topic card, which I want to visit again. So it could be multiple cards, Nancy. I'm all for having multiple conversation points on the table at the same time. Okay, so here we are in Libra season. Now at the end of Libra season, as we move into Scorpio season, we're going to go to the fixed water sign. So the fixed water sign is the King of Cups, right? So we go back to the King of Cups. So that's for Scorpio. And then at the end of Scorpio season, as we move back into fire, we're in mutable fire. So this is where we get the Knight of Wands. And I love this card for Sag. And I'll tell you why in just a second. Let me get the other one up here. Because Sag is temperance. Okay, let's get the temperance card up here. Now, this might be a personal thing for me with the different Sages that I know, but I find for a lot of Sagittariuses that the temperance card is a surprising significator card. I know a lot of very fiery Sages that when the temperance card comes up, it feels a little understated. And so to also put the Prince of Wands or the Knight of Wands on the table feels, I don't know, it kind of empowers. Is that a weird thing to say? Kind of empowers the querent during the reading. And then at the end of Sag, as we move into Earth, right? So we're going into cardinal Earth, and we got the Queen of Pentacles. I love this card. Not so much. This is probably my least favorite court card in the lily white. I think one of my favorite Queen of Pentacles is, I'm going to say textured tarot is one for sure. I don't like the ones that focus on the coins. The one in Druidcraft is really beautiful. So here we are in Capricorn, and I feel that this energy really beautifully balances the devil. It helps to bring the devil into perspective. And so I'm all for having more than one significator card on the table. And then at the end of Capricorn, we're going back into air, right? So we've got fixed air. So the King of Swords comes up. And so the King of Swords is sitting with King of Swords is sitting with the Star. So how would you feel with the Star and the King of Swords on the table? That's another question. The Star and the King of Swords. So this is you, Nancy, right? Because quite different energy having the King of Swords and the Star on the table. So for Aquarius, we start with the King of Swords, and then on February 9th, when we're shifting into Pisces season, we go to the Knight of Cups. And I feel this is just a beautiful, beautiful card. Pretty much all the Pisces that I know. I love this card. For me, this brings out the very, very best of the Moon card. You know, it brings out the poetry and the permission to talk about feelings in a, I really like this card for Pisces. And then at the end of Pisces, the last decan of Pisces, when we get to around the 11th of March, then the end of the Pisces is going to be the Queen of Wands, like it was for Aries. Yeah. So that's one system. But I think the easier system to deal with is to simply, if you are a water sign, just to choose a water court card, or if you have water in your moon or your ascendant. And you might want to choose more than one. You know, you can randomly choose court cards that you associate with, or you feel the energy of, or feel support your reading. You know? Now, we didn't talk about the pages. So let's just take a second to talk about the pages. Traditionally, the pages, love the pages in this deck. Let me get the other one. You're missing the page of Earth. Page of Earth, page of Air, page of Water, page of Fire. Page of Fire. Okay. This is one of my all-time favorite court cards. Not in this deck in particular, but I love the Page of Wands. Love the fiery energy in this one. So the pages traditionally are not used as court cards. Of course, they could be used for court cards for children. They could be used as court cards for young at heart. And they also could be used as court cards for students. You know, I'm thinking like if you were, imagine which faculty, suppose, you know, you're going into university, what faculty or what kind of studies would each of these pages be going into? I mean, that would be a beautiful way to use the pages as significators. Or if there was another new beginning, that was the focus of the reading. So why not? Why not use them, right? They just have not traditionally been used as significator cards. But there's no reason why that can't be an option. And there was several people in the chat that were commenting on. I'm just putting my finger here. I want to talk about this in a second. My finger, my chopstick finger, that were saying, oh my God, this is way too far out there. I'm a stickler for the rules, and I have to follow the rules. I feel like I'm breaking the rules if I don't do it the right way. And I don't believe there is a right way or a wrong way, you know? Just the intention here is to give you more vocabulary, more words, more reminders of the many, many things you can draw into a reading. Because sometimes, I don't know about you, sometimes don't you find that when you're doing a reading, you run out of things to say, you know, you run out of, you feel like, oh, the reading is over. Now I have two pieces of advice for that. So if you're running out of things to say, in a reading, then what I would suggest is that you start to write your readings down, and you start to make, and not write them down in point form or in keywords, but to write out your readings in full sentences. It's the only way. Like, you need to write complete thoughts and complete sentences, and to also not edit, just to write as fast as you can. And if you're a really good typer, you can write it out, you can type it out on a laptop or something. But I find that writing out the readings is really, really useful. And the thing about, if I'm doing an email reading for somebody, I'm writing it out on my laptop. And I love that because it allows me to go back and edit and add things and stick pictures in, and then I can print it out. And I even do that for myself, right? So I'll add pictures. And it's so easy to take a screenshot in Google. You can Google the exact card that you want, take a screenshot, and then stick it into the reading. Or if you have different kinds of graphic software, you can create things and either print them really, really tiny and put them into your journal, or keep these pages of your recorded readings in a binder or a duotang or something, right? Writing out your readings is invaluable. It really, really, it helps. It helps you to build confidence. I mean, it helps you to find more things to talk about. And I suppose why bring back the Significator is, multiple levels for this, right? One is to give you way more things to talk about when you're doing a reading, but also just to keep focused, And I love, like I said, having other objects that are going to help you. If you are grieving and you want to have something that is a reminder of the person you're grieving of on the table, have that there. Maybe during the course of the reading, you'll be ready to let go of something or not. Okay. Now, the final kind of way that I use significators is through topic cards. And I touched on this in the last video, so I'm not going to spend too much time. And this comes from the Lenormand tradition. So in Lenormand, you have 36 cards. And those 36 cards, any single one of them can be a significator. In Lenormand, we also have the man and the woman and the child. We can also use the lily for an older man. We could also use the snake for a woman. If you don't read Lenormand, don't take that the wrong way. But there's certain cards that are typically used as significator cards. But we can also use a topic card. And I'm going to show you one Lenormand method that's really kind of fun with tarot. Okay, lots of cards on the table here. So get out a deck and put a deck in your hand and start shuffling a deck. Actually, I love this. I do this all the time because I often have a deck in my bag when I'm wherever I am out. And just let me shuffle. I'm going to shuffle the Wild Unknown. So start thinking of your question. What is it that you want to know about? We won't do too much shuffling now because we're going to actually look through the pile. I'll go back to the other camera so we can do this. So I can show you my process. Okay. So I need to think of a question. Okay, I have my question in mind. And my question has to do with it has to do with my voice, and it has to do with my voice, and it has to do with my feelings. And so it's whether or not I should share my feelings about something that arose with my partner. Okay, so I'm going to go through the deck. You get your question in your mind and you go through the deck and you think, okay, what is this topic really about? And I want to focus on, it's not Ace of Swords energy. Definitely not that. I need focus in my feelings. I need courage to express my feelings. Maybe I need Maybe I need new feelings. And so you kind of go through and you think, now, which card really represents how I'm feeling or the nature of my question? And you just kind of go through and you pick one. You pick your topic. Find your topic. Find your topic. No, that's not my topic. You know what? My topic is kind of fiery. Fire and voice. Fire and voice. So maybe I want to choose temperance, actually, because fire and water. Maybe I want to choose temperance. And also I'm thinking maybe Daughter of Cups because I'm feeling kind of vulnerable. And then maybe I'm thinking Lovers because, you know, ultimately I want to have this much energy in the relationship. So you kind of go through the deck and you look at the cards and you just go like, you know, what is my topic really? You know, and what is the card that I really want to show up? So I'm going to go with the Lovers. Okay. And so I'm going to continue to focus on my question and I'm going to shuffle the deck. Okay. So you do the same. Shuffle your deck. Have your topic card in mind. So keep shuffling until you feel like you've shuffled enough. One more. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to cut. And then I'm going to turn the deck over. Maybe I should back off a little bit here. I don't want to do that. Oh, it's going to do something here. Sorry. Okay, let's see if we can do this. There we go. So I'm going to go back through the deck and I'm going to go and see where the Lovers card has shown up. There it is. Okay, so there's the Lovers card. And on one side of the Lovers card, I want to make sure I don't mess these up. Okay, so there's the Lovers card. And so on one side of the Lovers card is the Son of Swords. And on the other side is the Daughter of Pentacles. So what strikes me in my reading is that both of the court cards on either side of the Lovers are quite young and vulnerable and feeling quite, so the Daughter of Pentacles feels a little fragile, feels a little a little gentle. And the Son of Swords maybe isn't so thoughtful about some of the things he says or some of the things, you know, he's not been moving from his heart space. And so looking at these two court cards in relationship, so suppose I want to look at this as this is my partner and this is me. It gives me something, it gives me some more information. Okay, so what you can do is just, hey there, Donna. What you can do is look, now I've still got these in my hand in the order that they showed up. So I'm going to go back and just, so this is how the fan was. I don't need that many. And then this one was here. Okay, so what we can do is we can expand that even bigger. So here's the Lovers card. And let's make this a little bit bigger. Oh, okay, this makes total sense. I'm just going to go back to the Fool. So we've got Fool, Daughter of Pentacles, Lover, Son of Swords, and Mother of Pentacles. Okay. Let's see if I can do this here. I love doing this. Oh, I really love doing this. Okay, so this was my topic card. And now instead of just one card on either side, I'm using 2 cards on either side. And this is really, really fun because this gives me so much more information. Now, I can read this in a linear way, a chronological way. I can look at this as, yeah, this is a fairly new relationship. And quite quickly, quite quickly, the Fool jumped into this relationship. It's so fun. But another thing I love here is that the Daughter of Pentacles might be able to get back on her feet or get into her. I'm feeling a little bit unnerved right now with what just happened in my relationship. And so this particular I'm going to say, step from the Daughter to the Mother of Pentacles makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I'm going to get back on my feet, like right now, right away. Like it gives me confidence. So I love this method. It's really, really fun. Hi, Melanie. Welcome. I don't know if I've seen you on my channel before. Welcome. Melanie Music. I love that name. Okay, so I'm going to give you one more example. Okay, so why don't one of you throw a question into the chat, and then I'm going to help you choose a topic card. Okay, so I'll just wait for one of you to post a question. And I'm going to use Wild Unknown. What else could I use? I'm just going to see what your question is. I've got a few decks beside me. So again, this methodology comes from Lenormand tradition. Okay. Yeah. Love this. Oh, you're not looking at that. All right. Paper Moon. All right. So Nancy has a question. I have a new project starting. How to succeed in it? Okay. All right. So I want you to think about this as well too. What are the, so I want to definitely use the Ace of Wands. That's one possibility. Let's look at the words around Nancy's question. And there's success. So how do I succeed in it? Well, we have the Six of Wands as an option, but she's asking how. Okay. How do I succeed? What do I need to know about succeeding? What's on I'm going to use the Six of Wands, and I want to see what is on either side of success. Okay, that's what I want to do. And I might also want to see where the Ace shows up. So why don't you do this as well too? Let's all focus on Nancy, and we'll see if we get anything similar. Okay. And Nancy, you can do this for yourself as well too. So shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. And then you can, when you feel ready, cut the cards. And I'll walk you through this one more time. All right. So this is for Nancy, Paper Moon Tarot, who's looking for information on the success of her next project. Okay, so I have cut, and now I'm going to go through here, and I'm going to find where the Six of Wands is. Okay. And then, of course, if it's on the top or the bottom, that's a whole other technical conversation. Hopefully it won't be there. Fool, Justice. Where are you? Looking for the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands is the one with the butterfly coming out of the branches. Helps if you know your deck, right? Where are you, butterfly coming out of branches? I missed it. Okay, butterfly coming out of branches. Come on. Six of Wands. I love that. The emergence out of the branches. There it is. Okay. So now I'm just going to put those over there. And, ooh, Nancy. So we have the Fool here as well, too. So I love this. So we've got new project, that 6, Mother of Pentacles, and I've got another 6 here. Sorry. Oh, this feels like a 6, this 4. And you know why I was feeling this was a 6 was this movement, you know, this, I really like this card. Okay. And then we have the 2. Okay. So I'm going to go back to Nancy's question. Okay. So how to succeed, Embody the energy of the Mother of Pentacles. Gather all your resources. Yeah. Okay. So what does this mean? Embody the energy of the Mother of Pentacles. In order to succeed, you need to embody the energy of the Mother of Pentacles. Pentacles. So you want to make sure that you are solid in the resources for the project as well, too. And Nancy, you got 4 of Pentacles too. That is very, very cool. Okay. So this feels like a little bit like cocooning to me. Cocooning. And you got strength. So I want to, okay, cocooning and strength. And this Mother of Pentacles also feels a little bit like cocooning to me. And in order to succeed, you want to come out of the cocoon, which is what has actually happened in this picture here. So let's kind of work this metaphor, right? Let's find some language around this for Nancy. So there's a period of time where you actually do need to be in the cocoon. The dedicating the time and the energy alone, maybe actually, you know, going on a writer's, taking a, you know, how writers go away and I'm just thinking of all the, you know, different books and movies I've seen where they actually go away in seclusion to work on the project. And they hunker down. And if it's, you know, it's not writing, but I feel with this particular card, you want to just you need to be a little bit selfish. You need to enclose yourself in your castle if you're looking at an RWS deck. Okay. And this is very cool. When is the next eclipse? Does anybody know when the next eclipse is? I feel like this is, you know, I love doing this kind of a method of predictive tarot reading. I feel like the next big aha moment, the next bit of clarity might come around the next eclipse. And to pay attention to and be inspired by and work with that particular energy. So I don't have a calendar with me, but I'm just wondering if Mary Beth or any of the other astrologers in the chat happen to know that. Andy the Wildflower, hello, welcome. Mary Beth says June 10th, there is a solar eclipse. Okay. So, and you know what? I don't know what the next card is. I kind of mucked up the cards, so I don't know what the next one is, but I feel like you need to hunker down until the next eclipse, and that clarity will come there. But for me, the bulk of this message is one of a very internal containment. And contain. Oh, that's another interesting word. Containment. Embody the energy of the Mother of Pentacles. Get with the earth, be with the earth, walk every day, be outside in nature, connect with your animals, be with other people's pets more. Maybe deeper, clearer insight will come out in nature. What else does the Mother of Pentacles do? Embody the energy of the Mother of Pentacles. Okay, so lots of little nuggets to reflect on. And yeah, so I just want to kind of summarize everything that's happened today. Okay, significator cards. It's not just about identifying with something, because we don't want to over identify with any particular card, because we have aspects of all 16 court cards within us. We are all 16 court cards. We are all of the archetypes, right? We just happen to, at different journeys at different points in our life, to identify with certain ones more than another, because that's the stuff we're moving through. And so having focus cards on the table, or doing a reading around a focus card, can be really, really helpful. All right. And the other thing I said earlier on was write out your readings. Write them out. Write out as many words as you can, because sometimes when we're writing and we're doing, like that word containment, that was just something that just went, just came through me. And I'm not sure what that means, container, containment. So allow these random words. And also I'd love to have different pencil crayons or different kinds of markers on the table, because sometimes I will just pick up a pencil or a pencil crayon and I'll start doodling, and something will emerge through my doodle. And so automatic writing is a really something you need to allow to flow when you're recording your writings. So I hope this information is helpful. I love to work with people as they're developing their skills as a reader, and that's one of the reasons that I really started to pick up the number of tarot classes that I was teaching, and the two classes that I created last year, Read With Me 1 and Read With Me 2. They've been really, really fun. And that's just so you can kind of get inside my head, see how I work. And there's no Read With Me 1 coming up anytime soon, but there's a Read With Me 2 coming up in August if you're interested in kind of, picking my brain and getting in there. Yeah. The other class that is in the shop right now that you might be interested in is the class where I teach specific yogic practices I'm a yoga instructor, yoga teacher trainer as well too, to help to bring that insight, to bring that focus. And if you didn't take yogic practices 1, it would really be necessary that you have some kind of a meditative practice already. I'm not concerned that the ones that I do, but you kind of need to have some kind of practices under your belt already. This is not starting at, square one. Square one was the previous class, which I will teach again. So yeah, so send me a message anytime. I love chatting with you guys either through my webpage, or a direct email is fine as well too. And you can also, if you hop into my Facebook group, which is linked in the description box below, you can chat with me through the Facebook group. And every Wednesday night, I'm live in the Facebook group, and it's a little tiny chat usually. And so there's lots of time for personal connections and questions and all of that. Yeah. Just check in and see if you have anything else that you want to say. Oh, you're very welcome, Nancy. Great, Donna. Have fun. Have fun with it. It's really, really fun. Yeah. You too, Mary Beth. Oh, Andy, of course. Yes. Oh, so read with me too. So just let me, I'll change the banner up again. Read with me two is a completely different topic than read with me one. Read with me two is about working with seasons and cycles, moon cycles. Some of the stuff we talked about today. Yeah, so completely different topic. It's just got a number on it. There's no progression from read with me one to read with me two. So yeah, you can hop right into that course. All right, so thank you. Thanks for being here today. And I look forward to seeing some of you very, very soon. And I'll be back on Tuesday with another card comparison. And I'll be back with live readings on Tuesday as well, too. Okay, take good care of yourselves. Namaste.